Hello again and welcome back to Allegorical Indian. Today's topic is the third eye. Shiva's third eye is one of his key identifiers. If you see the third eye, you don't identify it with any other god but Shiva. It is said that it is the eye of destruction. When Shiva opens his eye, the world is destroyed. However, this is just one facet of the story. The third eye holds a much deeper secret. The third eye is associated with the Agnya Chakra. The Agnya Chakra is believed to be the center of intuition, of inner wisdom, of spiritual visions. Traditionally, the Agnya Chakra is revered as the sixth chakra in the human energy system. It is known as the command center of our being, the Agnya, where the orders come from. It holds a place of great importance in our spiritual journey. Situated between the eyebrows, it governs the mind, the intuition, and the ability to perceive subtle realms beyond the ordinary sight. The Agnya Chakra is not just another energy center though. It is the master of all chakras, the point where the duality of the physical world begins to dissolve and the oneness of the higher consciousness emerges. The name Agnya is derived from the Sanskrit word command or authority. It signifies the power of this chakra to direct and control our perception of reality. The Agnya Chakra is the lens with which we view the world. But unlike our physical eyes, it sees with the clarity of the soul. When the Agnya Chakra is activated and open, it destroys all our limiting beliefs. In modern times, the pineal gland is equated with the third eye. René Descartes, a French philosopher, often hailed as the father of modern philosophy, referred to the pineal gland as the seat of the soul. For Descartes, the pineal gland was the point of convergence between the body and the spirit, where the mind interacts with the physical world. While his perspective was more philosophical than scientific, it nevertheless sowed the seed for the deeper exploration of this enigmatic organ. Fast forward to the late 19th century, and we find Helena Blavatsky, the Russian occultist and the founder of the Theosophical Society, echoing similar sentiments. In her teachings, she described the pineal gland as a vestigial organ, a remnant of an ancient era when humans possessed extraordinary spiritual abilities. Much similar to what we believe in the Indian culture, where our spiritual abilities were much higher in the earlier yugas. In the Satya Yuga, they were extraordinary. Then they started devolving through the Treta, the Dwapar, and when the Kali Yuga came in, our spiritual abilities were almost diminished to being 1/4 of what they used to be. According to Blavatsky, the reawakening of the pineal gland would allow humanity to reclaim these lost powers, to see beyond the material world into the spiritual dimensions. The pineal gland is named so because it resembles the shape of the pine cone, which is native to the Western landscape. However, in India, this association is different. The ancient Indian people found something that resembles this gland more closely in size and shape. This tree that is common to India and is known as the Rudraksha tree. The West depicted the pineal gland with the best object that they could find in nature. And the pine cone became a prominent feature of this iconography. They named it after the pine cone. It's called the pineal gland. In the East, the closest resemblance was seen in a seed of a blue berry-like fruit. I happen to have one here, which I collected from a tree very nearby. I just picked it up. There's the hundreds of them fallen down. So here I have a Rudraksh, which is not polished, which is just picked up from right under the Rudraksh tree near a Shiva temple. So the Rudraksha is a compound word of Rudra and Aksha. Rudra is an embodiment of Shiva and Aksha means eye. So Rudraksha is the eye of Rudra, which is the eye of Shiva. And if one does a side-by-side image comparison of the pineal gland and a Rudraksha, you will find that the Rudraksha is much closer to the real pineal gland in size and in shape than the pine cone, which is huge. Another fascinating thing about the Rudraksh is that unlike the pine cone, the bead that is called the Rudraksha is a seed. In a way, the pineal gland nesting in the center of the brain can also be considered the seed of the brain or consciousness. The pineal gland is unlike any other part of the brain. It is unique not only in location but also in its function. While its primary role in the regulation of melatonin and serotonin along with the circadian rhythm is well documented, there is something more profound at play. It is in fact the only part of the brain that is not isolated from the blood-brain barrier. It receives direct blood flow. This particular characteristic hints at a special role. Ancient Indic culture understood this connection intuitively long before the advent of modern sciences. They recognized the pineal gland as the seat of spiritual visions, the third eye that perceives not with the physical senses but with the soul. What if this isn't just a mystical speculation? What if there is a scientific basis to this ancient belief? Enter Dr. Rick Strassman, an American psychiatrist whose groundbreaking research in the 1990s brought the pineal gland back into the spotlight. Strassman's work led him to hypothesize that the pineal gland might be responsible for producing DMT, often referred to as a spirit molecule. According to Strassman, the molecule could be the key to understanding near-death experiences, spiritual visions, and altered state of consciousness. Although Strassman's theory remains speculative, it has sparked a renewed interest in the pineal gland and its potent role in bridging the gap between the physical brain and the spiritual mind. If the pineal gland is indeed capable of producing DMT, it could provide a biochemical explanation for the mystical experiences that have been attributed to the activation of the third eye. This convergence of ancient wisdom and modern science invites us to reconsider our understanding of consciousness. Understanding this gland from the modern science perspective gives us a deeper understanding of the aspect associated with Shiva. DMT is said to be the most potent psychedelic known to mankind, and supposedly it is produced by the pineal gland, which is the Rudraksha. And as it happens, Shiva is the god who consumed the most potent poison produced by the universe, which is the Kalakutta or Halahala. And it is Shiva who, through the medium of Rudraksha, which is the pineal gland, infuses the consciousness with this molecule that is known as DMT, the spirit molecule. I don't think this is a coincidence. I think these things are deeply allegorical, and they are inviting us to understand these connections in a much deeper sense. So Shiva's third eye is more the eye of transformation than it is the eye of destruction. In fact, the destruction of Kamadev is the only story where Shiva's eye has been used for a destructive purpose. And this story too has a very, very deep allegorical connection, which, yes, I will come to in one of the future episodes very soon. But till then, make sure to like, subscribe, do all the things, spread this knowledge, because it's you who will spread it further. Otherwise, YouTube is not going to do it. If you have vibed with this idea, I urge you to share it with your friends. And if you want to know more about these concepts, I have written a book. It's called Swarom, Mystic Metaphors from Indic Scriptures. Do pick it up, read it, and tell me what you think. Also, tell me in the comment what else would you like to know, and I might cover those in the future. So that's that from me, and I will leave you with this mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshi Yamamritat. Om Namah Shivaya.